Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really sobering event that shook Toledo, Ohio on June 6, 2026. A beloved community gathering, the Old West End Festival, was just completely shattered by sudden violence. As always, our goal here is to strip away all the confusion and rumor, stick strictly to the verified reports, and figure out exactly what happened, who was impacted, and where the investigation stands right now.
12. That's the number we need to start with today. According to Toledo police, 12 people were struck by gunfire. I know when an incident like this happens, the sheer scale of the violence can be overwhelming to process right out of the gate. But before we get into the timeline or the investigation, I want to give you the most important and honestly the most relieving fact. Despite 12 people being shot, every single one of them survived.
Section 1. Impact on the victims, demographics and status.
To really wrap our heads around the scope of this tragedy, we've got to look at the human element first. Who was actually caught up in this? Well, the crucial point to understand here is just how indiscriminate the violence was. The victim age range spans from 14 all the way to 61 years old. This wasn't one specific targeted demographic, you know? We're talking about teenagers, young adults, and older folks all just sharing the same space. The injuries ran the gamut from minor scrapes to really serious wounds, and in the immediate aftermath, 2 of those victims actually had to be rushed away in critical condition.
But again, I really want to reiterate this because it's just incredible. All 12 victims are alive and receiving medical treatment. In a situation filled with mass panic and multiple gunshots in a densely packed area, the fact that there are literally 0 fatalities, that is a massive testament to the rapid emergency medical response.
Section 2. Chaos at the Festival, the sequence of events.
So, how does a beautiful summer evening just unravel so fast? Let's step back and trace the timeline. At exactly 5:37 p.m. local time, in broad daylight, multiple gunshots suddenly erupt right near the festival grounds. Moments later, it's absolute pandemonium. Thousands of people are scattering in every direction, desperately looking for safety. But here's the wild part. Immediately after the shots rang out, the officers who were already assigned to patrol the event were able to respond within seconds. Medics were right there alongside them, treating people literally on the spot.
And this really paints a heartbreaking contrast, doesn't it? Think about the intended purpose of the Old West End Festival, a long-running, beloved annual tradition packed with live music, arts and crafts, and family activities. But then contrast that with the terrifying reality of what the scene became. Families grabbing their young children and running, innocent festivalgoers forced to hunker down behind parked cars and trees just to survive.
Section 3. The ongoing investigation, seeking suspects. Once the scene was secured and everyone was treated, the authorities' focus immediately shifted to figuring out what triggered all this. And the working theory from Toledo police is actually pretty fascinating. Based on witness accounts and the initial ballistics, they don't think this was a single active shooter targeting the crowd. Actually, they believe at least 2 shooters were involved, and they were actively firing right at each other. Those 12 victims? Tragically, they were just bystanders caught in the crossfire of a reckless shootout right in the middle of a dense crowd.
Okay, let's dive into the investigation steps. How are police piecing this giant puzzle together? Well, step 1, authorities have successfully recovered a firearm near the scene, which is going to be absolutely crucial for ballistic matching. Step 2, detectives are leaning heavily into digital evidence, scrubbing through local surveillance footage and cell phone videos. And step 3, they are making an urgent plea to the public. With thousands of people there, they're practically begging anyone who captured photos or videos before, during, or after the panic to send them in immediately.
Which brings us to this highly concerning number, 0. As of the current reports, 0 arrests have been announced. The suspects who started this are still unidentified and out there. So to be clear, this isn't a closed case by any stretch. It is a highly active, ongoing manhunt that really requires the community's full cooperation.
Section 4. Aftermath and official response, community impact.
You know, the ripple effects of an event like this go way beyond the police tape. The most immediate casualty, besides the physical injuries, was the event itself. Organizers really had no choice but to completely pull the plug and cancel the rest of the festival weekend. The official reaction was extremely swift, with Ohio Governor Mike DeWine coming out publicly to condemn the violence and express his profound support for the victims. It's a really stark reminder of how the reckless actions of a few individuals can literally rob a whole city of its cultural touchstones.
And the legal system is already gearing up. Prosecutors have gone on the record promising to pursue swift and strong justice the second these multiple suspects are identified and caught. The state is sending a very clear message here. there will be severe accountability for turning a family festival into a shooting gallery.
Which leaves us with this final, lingering thought to chew on. How do communities reclaim their sense of safety at public gatherings after violence strikes? When a long-standing tradition meant for joy and connection just abruptly stops because of gunfire, the physical wounds will heal, sure. But the psychological hit to a community's sense of security, that takes so much longer to repair. As investigators continue to hunt for the shooters, the city of Toledo is left grappling with this very question. Thank you for joining me for this explainer, and definitely keep your eyes open as this investigation continues to develop.